Hello again. Chapter 5, here we go. Sometime later, Jesus went up to Jerusalem for one of the Jewish festivals. Now there is in Jerusalem near the Sheep Gate a pool, which in Aramaic is called Bethesda, and which is surrounded by 5 covered colonnades. Here a great number of disabled people used to lie, the blind, the lame, the paralyzed. One who was there had been an invalid for 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there and learned that he had been in this condition for a long time, he asked him, "Do you want to get well?" "Sir," the invalid replied, "I have no one to help me into the pool when the water is stirred. While I'm trying to get in, someone else goes down ahead of me." Then Jesus said to him, "Get up, pick up your mat and walk." At once the man was cured. He picked up his mat and walked. The day on which this took place was a Sabbath. And so the Jewish leaders said to the man who had been healed, "It is the Sabbath. The law forbids you to carry your mat." But he replied, "The man who made me well said to me, 'Pick up your mat and walk.'" So they asked him, "Who is this fellow who told you to pick it up and walk?" The man who was healed had no idea who it was, for Jesus had slipped away into the crowd that was there. Later, Jesus found him at the temple and said to him, "See, you are made well again, or you are well again. Stop sinning, or something worse may happen to you." The man went away and told the Jewish leaders that it was Jesus who had made him well. So normally I don't add anything to what I'm reading, because I want you to just hear what God says and then take that and think about it. But I think today, because of how it ended, I just want to, encourage and challenge us that, so when Jesus says something, we need to listen. So for this man, we don't know the circumstances, we don't know what was going on, but he told him, stop sinning or something worse may happen to you. Now, if we took that and we tried to apply it right now to our lives and to what's going on around us, then to me that would sound like, okay, so if I'm not obeying the rules, God's rules, then that puts me at risk for being sick. Or that may make me think like, I don't want to follow a God that has these rules that I got to follow, and then if I don't, I'm going to get sick. There's a lot. This conversation could go way deep into God's word. But I just want to point out 2 things. One, Jesus healed that man. He was here to point people to his Father. He wasn't here to condemn that man. He wanted to show him love, and he wanted to show him how something needed to change in his life. The Pharisees, the leaders of the law, on the other hand, they were only concerned about the law, and they were mad that this guy was picking up his mat. They didn't care that a miracle had just happened in his life. And so I don't want us to lose the fact that we need to listen to Jesus when he tells us something, and sometimes that is telling us, you're not right with God. You need to get right with God, and I want to show you how. But we need to remember too that he died for us, and we'll get there later on. But just don't walk away from this thinking it's all about rules. There's way more to it than that, and there's hope and there's healing. So just keep that in mind.